Rebel Radio. We're listening to a band called The Faith Healer right there. And before that, MOD, No Glove, No Love. Destruction, doing the song Destruction. I'm Scott Davidson, starting off our 31-year anniversary with our good friend Iann Robinson. He is from the MTV, does it DJ or VJ? VJ back then, right?
Yeah, there were VJs back then. I was sort of a bastardization between a VJ and a news reporter because I did both.
Okay, cool. So what'd you like doing better, news reporting or VJ?
I like the VJ aspect because I got to be like, a co-host at the Headbangers Ball with Jamie Johnson. Got to like help program some heavier music on MTV2. That was basically what the MTV reporting thing was fine, but it's a lot of fluff and a lot of like, oh, hey, Britney Spears stood up and turned around. That was big back then, and so I think the MTV news. I don't know, MTV News is kind of a funny thing to bring together in the same sentence, so I didn't really care about that. But I like being able to like push newer bands and bands that I really like onto a channel that would never listen to before. So probably VJ was definitely my favorite.
So Iann, the MTV News, was that the David Ellison riff from Peace Sells But Who's Buying?
Yes.
Yes, that's cool.
And it was funny because I went there, I was like, making that no one has any idea where it's from. Oh, we just heard it, but it sounded cool. I was like, I'm sure you did. So it was weird, man. There was like one little section of MTV that dealt with heavier music, and they got it. Everyone else, it wasn't even like they didn't like it. They just didn't get into their view scan. So they missed out on a lot of very cool stuff, I thought, at least.
Now, and of course, MTV changed to like reality shows and stuff. But then now they have a show. One of my friends named Scott, he tapes every what's it called, the new show. It's all these videos of Testament in the 80s and
Metal Thrashing Madness by Maria Ferraro.
Maria does it. Yeah, she helps do that. And have you seen that yet, Iann?
No, I haven't watched MTV since I left because they were pushing a lot of rap metal, which I was just not a big fan of.
No, yeah.
Then I heard they went all like teenage pregnancy or
exactly, yeah.
Reality shows. So I hadn't really watched. I didn't know they were doing a metal show. I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah, it's available on Paramount Plus, Scott.
Paramount Plus, and my friend tapes. He records everyone. He's got 100. He got 100 of them. Whenever I go to his house, he goes check out Friday night's video. Is it Friday or Saturdays?
It's on Saturdays, I believe.
Nights.
Yeah.
Saturday nights. I don't know, 9 o'clock. Sure. And the cool thing, they're playing Judas Priest, Painkiller. They're playing. They got all these videos from back then, and I don't understand why they just didn't. Even just twice a day. Noon and midnight, or 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. We'll play 10 videos or something. I don't know. They just totally went away with it, right?
Yeah, I mean, MTV was never about heavy music. MTV was about sort of mass market, which is fine. I get it. They're kind of channel or whatever, but I don't think that they took into account the masses of the audience that heavy music had, because they would want like us to go and talk to Ozzy and do the Oz Fest and like a Metallica tour or something. And they'd want, us to go there and talk to the metal kids, but then they didn't want to show them the respect of actually playing metal. And even when they played the Headbangers Ball, it was a lot of, Korn and that stuff. And I was like, there's all these videos in your vault you could play. I don't think MTV ever got metal. I don't think they ever tried to get into heavy music or even understand it. It was just kind of this annoyance that wouldn't go away, so they would give some attention to it. But MTV is pretty much done. No one cares. And metal continues to, strive on even now. So, that's the way it is.
Iann, did you watch the Black Sabbath show, Ozzy show, last Saturday in England?
I did. I absolutely did. It was, it was bittersweet. It was heartbreaking. It was sad to see that Ozzy had to sit through most of it, because when I saw the first Ozfest ever, and I went and I'd seen Ozzy on tour in like late 80s or mid 80s when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And he was always like, "Yeah, all right, man, come on, man, get the back, that's what I mean." Run around like so.
Throwing water.
Kind of sad. It was awesome that they got past all their bullshit, and I could see Bill Ward and everyone playing those songs one last time, and it was a great way to go out. So many great bands just kind of go away, or they become so bad that no one wants to celebrate them.
Yeah, so a lot of bands towards the end of their career are fighting over money or something. So it was good.
Yeah, and it becomes greed, or you become Metallica where you just suck, or it's something that's just the only bands that like Judas Priest are still doing it, or somebody dies. Like Dio never had a final show.
No, he didn't.
He died before he died on stage like Hollywood. So it was definitely cool. It was definitely cool to see all the other bands um, come and play tribute, and it was just it was nice. It was sad because I'm 54, so I'm old. So all my heroes are retiring or getting out of the music business or dying. So it's always sad to see that go. But I thought it was a real class act. I thought they did a really great job with it.
It was definitely classy. What was cool was the whole Birmingham. It wasn't just that one show. The whole week. It was like Black Sabbath Ozzy week or month, whatever it was, because people came early and there's like so many cool murals. People were painting and stuff, and a lot of
I mean, it would be cool. What I would love is if they continue. I know Ozzy can't do it anymore, but if they continued having like something like that in tribute to Sabbath every year.
Yeah, they should. That's a good idea.
Like, it's like every band comes, they play their set, and then everybody ends like their favorite 3 or 4 Black Sabbath songs, and then at the end, like maybe there's a jam session with a bunch of the guys who were in bands that were there, and they played stuff. I don't know. I mean, it could go any way. It'd be cool if there was a thing like that for metal or to keep Sabbath alive, but who knows?
Definitely, Ian. So MTV VJ. How did you get hired there first? Did you send a resume and they hired you? Did you have to like do like an actor does a talk, a reading?
It was really weird. Way back in New York, like before YouTube, before any of this, the only way you could have any kind of creativity on television was cable access.
Yes.
It was like these dead channels and that you could put whatever you wanted on. So me and my friends decided to do a music review show, and it was called Monkey Butt Sex. And we did it because we wanted to call it that in case anybody was looking for something to watch on Preview Guide. They saw that name, they'd have to try to figure out what it was. And basically, it was just me making fun of stuff. And then we got a little bit bigger and we started doing skits and stuff. And then one day, we had a P.O. box and we always go and check it. There'd be nothing there. And one day, I got a bunch of CDs from, I think, NCA or something like that. And they were like, hey, we love your show. Can you review these? So I reviewed those, and I started getting more and more packages from more and more. And then bands like the Melvins and Sick of It All and Dead Guy, all these bands wanted to be on the show, and it got really, really big. And then we retired it, and one of the guys who used to watch it went to work for MTV, and they said, we need to hire some new blood for on-air talent. He was like, I got the guy for you. So they just brought me in. I didn't have to really rehearse or anything. They just brought me in and said, you're hired. So that was cool.
That's cool. And now, did you have any say in what you could play and stuff, or? No.
I didn't know saying anything. Like they had a show called You Hear It First, and I was trying to push this band from Boston that was new. At that point, they were new. They were called Scissor Fight.
I remember them. Yep.
I loved them, and I wanted to push them, and they kept saying, "Yeah, we will," and then they push it back for all these major label artists that were having. It was very political there. They didn't let you do much of anything, so I would do what I could. Like I would wear band clothes on band shirts on the air, and I would talk about bands when they gave me a slice of time called Heavy Metal Headlines, and I would talk about heavy bands then. I did what I could, but they didn't give you any control over anything there.
But it was still cool to be able to be in the beginning stages of something that could have been it was really big at the time, right? Remember?
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know, I think like I said, I don't think MTV got it. I just don't think that they understood it. I don't think they saw it as a nuanced genre of music where there was different levels of it. They just thought it was all one thing and that it would never appeal to the masses, so they didn't even try. And they missed out on a lot of cool stuff, which, what are you going to do?
It's Rebel Radio. Scott Davidson talking to Ian Robinson, MTV VJ. You're a writer too, as well. Who do you write for?
Yep. Right now I write for myself. Before I was writing for Crave Online. I wrote for Warp magazine for a while. I wrote for the first 3 or 4 issues of Decibel.
Cool.
Before they fired me. And then I wrote for Spin for a little while. I wrote for Rolling Stone. I think what else? I wrote for a magazine called All That. I wrote for Sound Views, which is like a legendary punk scene in New York City. And then mostly recently I've been writing for whoever online people that would pay me or my own blog. And then as I got older and I just sort of fell out of touch with new music, I haven't written for a while. Other than I write short stories, things like that for my writing class, but that's about it.
And you also do podcasts too, right?
Yep, I did a podcast. I'm thinking about starting another one. I did a podcast called Cream. Recently it was called Comics Rule Everything Around Me, and it was a comic book show. And then I did one for a while called People Ruin Everything. That was just me bitching and complaining. I'm thinking about doing another one now. The podcast world got so saturated
Yeah.
that it felt like I was like, oh, it's a lot of fooey over nothing. And plus, when it comes to creativity, at some point, you just get drained. You don't want to deal with the bullshit of it anymore. So you step back. When you got to know 31 years on the radio, you got to know the ins and outs of the
Oh, yeah.
of politics and the bullshit better than anybody. And so for a while, I just stepped back and like focused on my marriage, focused on my job. I got out of school, and now I'm feeling like the creative juices are starting to bug me again. So I want to get back into it. So I'm thinking about that. But I did so much for so long that I just needed a break.
Did you ever think about starting your own magazine? I mean, I know magazines aren't as but more like webzine, right?
I always thought I was starting my own zine. Like, even if people laughed at it or thought it was stupid, because when I was a kid, me and my friends would do zines, like staple together Xerox zines.
Yeah.
Local bands, call people up, whatever. And I would love to do something like that because it would be 100% mine. As far as something like decibels, glossy pages, and advertising, that's a lot of money. I don't have that kind of money. But I definitely was thinking about doing a zine so I could do something that was specifically music, and then my podcast would be both music and movies, and I could do both between them. Like I said, within the last 2 or 3 years, the urge to be creative has really started punching me in the face. So I've been wanting to get out there and do more and more stuff. So we'll see what happens. Future
Cool.
is pretty bright.
Cool. Let us know if you do. I'd like to check it out. I was at a couple of shows recently. This guy walks up and hands me a bunch of like you said, bunch of flyers stapled together. Here's my thing. It's pretty cool. It's underground.
Yeah, it's been the DIY ethic has always been great. It's a pity more people don't read, so there's not as many underground scenes as there used to be.
That's
but
true.
Places like even though we in Decibel had our cross to bear for a while, like those guys have done a really good job of keeping it professional, keeping it a really good scene, well written, and still there may not be quite as underground as like Terrorizer, but they're right there. Like they're doing a great job. So I applaud them for that.
Cool. Treble Radio, Scott Davidson talking to Iann Robinson, formerly of MTV, and thank you so much for calling in. And you're in Ohio now. How do you like to live in Ohio?
Long story short. I left New York after my marriage fell apart. I was living in Boston, which I absolutely adored, but I wanted to go back to school, and it was too expensive. So a girl I was dating was from here. She said, "Come back here and go to school, and then we can move back to Boston." We moved back down here. Her and I broke up. I finished school to go back home, and then I met my current wife, Miranda, who I've been with now for 14 years.
Congrats.
And we just, thank you. We just like it here. Her family's here, and it's like I own a house. Growing up in New York City, I never thought I'd own anything. So, I enjoy a house where I can go down to my basement and play Slayer at 2 o'clock in the morning.
That's awesome. That's an awesome feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's an awesome feeling. You mentioned Dio earlier. Today is Ronnie James Dio's birthday too. So that to me that's more important than Rebel Radio's birthday.
I didn't know that. And I'll play Dio very loud for a long time.
We're gonna play some Dio. I got like 3 interviews with Dio. I'll find one to play later. But what a great guy that guy was. He talked to.
He was by far, other than the interview with Lemmy, because Lemmy is my hero. But Dio was one of my favorite people to talk to ever. He was so funny and he was so down to earth. And there was no, as much as he's done, and as much of an icon as he is, and there was no bullshit. He was just this funny dude that was great to talk to and hang out with. It's like, it was one of those guys that someone came to me and said, "Oh, I interviewed you and I didn't like him." I would be like, "What's wrong with you?"
No, yeah.
Ronnie James didn't do anything.
He was cool. He was cool to everybody. I mean, the guys. I'm at the House of Blues. The guy's like mopping up the floor in a box. He talked to everybody, and he went over to talk to that guy too. So it was cool how he talked to everybody. It didn't matter how, if you're a record label head or guy mopping up some spilled beer. He was cool.
He was just really. He never lost the gratitude to be able to do this for a living and do what he wanted to do. And no matter how much, Rainbow, Dio, whatever, how much of a legend he became, he never lost it. Ozzy didn't either. Ozzy was a little different because he was a little off.
Yeah.
But Ozzy had that same sort of really friendly, really nice, really cool. Like, it's funny because, people think of metal and this, whatever. Other than, the guys in, death metal and black metal used to give me me a hard time because I was on MTV, and I expected that. But by and large, everyone in metal is like all the bands have always been very cool to talk to, very down to earth. You know, I mean, not so much the rap metal guys, just like regular metal guys. I talked to, you know, Kerry King from Slayer, and I kind of expected we got started talking about professional wrestling, and he was like the coolest guy. So I've never had a bad interview with anyone.
That's
in the
cool.
metal scene.
That's good. That's good.
A million bad interviews with others gone.
That's awesome. Ian, I know you're on lunch calling in. Thank you so much. You're the first interview of 31. Thank you so much. I want to stay in touch with you. Thanks to Nickel Sack Jack for setting us up. Go ahead.
Real quick, can I plug something?
Of course.
Okay. For all of you out there listening who love old punk rock like the FUs and the Humanoids, things like that, there's an amazing show called Mario Fest. It's happening out in Boston on August 3rd. It is a show dedicated to the memory of a man named Mario Travers, who died of stomach cancer. He was one of the best human beings in the world, and we all loved him. Jonah from Only Living Witness is one of the guys behind it.
We played him, Only Living Witness.
Oh yeah, Jonah's like a brother to me. I wrote liner notes for their latest vinyl re-release. I love that guy. He put together the show. Mario was in his band Raw Radar War, which is the last band he did before Mario died. It's an amazing show. Go to Facebook, look for Mario Fest. Check it out if you can come. Food trucks, art, bands, and like a great vibe for a great human being. So I just wanted to get that out there.
That sounds pretty cool. Are you going to that one?
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
I go every single year.
That's cool.
Boston. I get to be part of the show, and I get to see all of my friends that I grew up with and that I love, and I don't see as often as I'm out here. So
They should have you be the MC of the show.
yeah, if they can ask me to do anything, I'll fucking sell popcorn. I'm just so happy that it's happening, and that people are honoring Mario, he was the best fucking human being in the world.
Cool. All right, now you're going to be the DJ on Rebel Radio. You pick a song called "Sick of It All." Why did you pick this song?
I picked Injustice System is my favorite Sick of It All song off my favorite record, their first record, and I picked it specifically because my buddy Lou, who sings for the band, has been battling cancer, and he's come out of it. He's kicked cancer's ass. He's in remission. He's battling back to full health. And I just wanted everybody out there to hear this song, remember how amazing Sick of It All are, and send some positive vibes to Lou.
Awesome. You're going to be the DJ on Rebel Radio, so just end it with Rebel Radio or just put it in there somewhere. Take it away. Great talking to you. Nice meeting you. And good luck on your future stuff.
Man, congratulations on 31 years, man.
Thank you.
To see that. That's awesome.
Thank you. Take it away, buddy. You're the DJ. Take it away.
Oh, hey everybody, this is Ian Robinson, former MTV VJ, here with Scott, 31 years in the house, and we're about to play the greatest hardcore band ever, Sick of It All, and it's just your system. Take it away, boys.
Awesome. Great job. You're hired. You start Monday morning.
I'll be there. Wait for me in the back of the parking lot.
All right. See you later, Ian.
Take care.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. It's Rebel Radio. We're still live on Facebook. First interview of 31. Thanks to Ian. Thanks to Nickel Sack Jack for setting it up. Here is Sick of It All. Thanks, Ian. See you later.